Hello everyone, my name is Clay, and I am terminally nerdy. Today, I welcome you to spend a nerdy moment with me as I discuss my thoughts on the very interesting card-based roguelike game, Monster Train. Developed by Shiny Shoe and released on May 21st, I grabbed this game after talking to my friend Virus, then watching a video of gameplay by Ziggy D, and man am I glad I grabbed it. Now, generally, I do full reviews after I finish the story or narrative of a game. However, Monster Train doesn't really have a storyline. There's a concept, sure. You're playing the last remnants of two clans from Hell, trying to take the last remaining ember of the fires of Hell back to the center to rekindle the fires and reclaim your home after Heaven whooped the forces of Hell's ass. But that's really it. In fact, finishing a run and making it to the center doesn't provide any cutscene or closure that I've seen. The game is actually meant to be played repeatedly, and as such, most of this is just background there for framing and flavor. I do love the visual style of the game. The creature designs for both the player's units and the enemy units are very solid, though I wish there was more variety. You tend to use the same units on your side, and you see the same enemies over and over and over again. There is a distinct lack of visual variety here, even if the designs are good. The train car you battle in is also pretty good looking, with the background whizzing by to kind of give you a sense that your train is speeding along as you fight. Also, the spell and attack animations are pretty good as well, but again, there's a lack of variety, and playing for longer sessions can start to feel samey. The soundtrack is great as well, and one unique thing I like is that at the start of each battle, the game will actually give you the name of the song playing in the background at the top. I like this, as I started to learn which songs I liked and which ones I kinda didn't. But then again, there's a lack of variety in tunes to hear, as I seem to keep getting the same ones over and over again. Sound effects are pretty good as well. Attacks sound nice and meaty, and the spells and effects sound pretty good as well. There is, however, no voice acting outside of generic yells of pain or surprise when your attacks land. The real reason someone would play Monster Train solely has to do with the gameplay. This game is a mix of a deck builder, a roguelike, and a tower defense game, and it's really good at that. At the start of your run, you're going to choose your primary clan and your allied clan from 5 distinct choices. At the start, you're only going to have 2 clans, the Hellhorned and the Awoken, available, but as you play, you can unlock the other 3, Stygian, Umbra, and Melting, through achievements such as casting a set number of spells overall or killing enough enemies. Each faction has a sort of gimmick as well. Hellhorned, for example, seem to be armor-based, with a rage mechanic to give them temporary attack boosts, whereas Awoken are more defensive-oriented with healing. Stygian is the spell clan, Umbra has these buffs through units that they have to eat called morsels, and the Melting are very much a recursion clan, bringing back their units more and more. Your primary clan also decides your champion, who will always have a 0 Ember cost, Ember is this game's mana, and they always start in your opening hand at the beginning of each fight. Once you select your clans, you start your run by getting an artifact, giving your run a permanent bonus, and then also getting your first champion upgrade. You will then also get a notice telling you what effect the final boss will have, which will affect your run overall in planning. However, there only seems to be about 3 to 4 effects that each boss can get, which means that you will start to see the same fights over and over again. Further, there are only 3 main bosses, so you will always see the same ones in the same order. Many bosses in between there have some variety, but not by much. From there, you'll go into your first battle. Before each battle, you can also activate a trial, which will give the enemies some sort of bonus or make the fight harder, but if you complete the battle with that trial enabled, you get an extra reward. You're going to have 3 levels on your train car, and at the top on level 4 is your Ember, which you must defend. Each floor can hold a set number of units, shown by the dots in the upper left corner of the floor. Unit cards themselves will show how many spots that they take at the top of their card. You can't summon a unit in a car if you don't have the space. Units are also one-time use for the most part. When they die, they're gone. Spells generally only affect the floor that they're cast on as well. Each turn you will draw a new hand and your old hand goes into your discard pile, and if your draw pile ever gets completely empty, your discard pile gets shuffled and the cycle repeats. Enemies, by the way, always attack first. and thankfully you can clearly see the results of a round of combat on each floor before you set your actions and end your turn. If the enemies live after the end of the combat, they will climb up one floor, and if they reach the ember, they will start to damage it and it will start to defend itself. Bosses come every so often as well, and defeating them will generally grant you a new champion upgrade in the next area. Also, there's only ever 8 battles, and there's only 3 primary bosses that trigger this upgrade. After each fight, you will have to choose a new path to the next fight, and each path will offer different bonuses or options, such as shops, artifacts, new units, and so on. Shops buff your unit and spell cards with new effects, they can reduce mana cost, things like that. You can also sometimes find artifact shops as well. There is an absolute ton of strategy involved in this game, and after you beat your first run, you can start doing Covenant runs, which will grant new effects to your future runs, like random starting cards added to your deck and the like. These build up the more of them that you complete. There are also daily challenges, which are technically considered multiplayer with leaderboards because you can see your progress on the daily challenge against your friends. Sadly, the biggest drawback to this game, as you may have guessed from my comments earlier, has to do with variety. Card variety, boss modifiers, and enemy variety are all severely lacking, and after playing the game for 12 hours, I've appeared to have seen everything. The boss fights have already started to feel samey, as have the enemies I faced and the cards myself have used. Sure, mixing the clans adds to your strategy, but I've done multiple runs where no matter what clans I choose, the bosses always have the same bonuses, the enemies are always the same in the same order, and I fight the same fights over and over and over again. Hell, the clan champs themselves only seem to have 3 or 4 bonuses to choose from the upgrade stations. Adding more bosses, more bonus effects for the enemies, more clan champs, more unit cards, more spells, adding more of all of this stuff is a must for the longevity of this game, in my eyes. Overall, I think Monster Train is a fantastic game, and I've really enjoyed my time with it. In fact, I find myself coming back to try new runs pretty much every day. Generally, however, I only play for one run right now before moving on to another game, as again, the lack of variety in enemies and cards has already hit me and makes everything feel kind of repetitious. I do think that if you like these sort of games, then you absolutely need to give this a try. It is incredibly unique. You can pick up Monster Train on Steam for $25, and it is absolutely worth it at that price in my opinion. And again, if the devs continue to work on it, update it, and add more cards and more variety, I think this will be something truly, truly special. As always, thank you for spending a nerdy moment with me. Please be kind to each other, especially now, and stay nerdy. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and a special thank you to all my patrons who are listed over there on the right hand of the screen. If you want to get your name in those credits, feel free to check it out at patreon.com/terminallynerdy, and hey, be kind to each other and stay nerdy. Thanks.